Hi everybody. Yes, my name is Richmond Agyekum, and I'll be having a brief presentation on the effective leader, and I'll be focusing in on emotional intelligence. But before I do that, can you just show that I have my audience in the room? Hi everybody. Right. Let's just go on. I'm talking today about emotional intelligence. This is a topic that is crucial for everybody. As you can see, it affects different criteria of people. It affects leaders. For students as yourself, it's something that helps you to be more successful in learning as well as in your life. For my healthcare workers, it delivers more effective patient care, so it's not leaving you out. And for everybody in the room, it creates more joy and satisfaction in your life. Because this is not just combined, just using your head, but it's applying your head and your heart at the same time. The big question then is, what is emotional intelligence, or EQ? It's said to be by Goldman. He said this is a different way of being smart. That is all about how you handle yourself and get along with people. So we know about IQ, and that's where we judge people as being smart. But this is another level of being smart. I'll explain further. To do this, I have highlighted, I chose my boss, Jim Hanser, because he's exhibited a lot of high skills of emotional intelligence. And as we go along, you understand why. Jim established a pharmacy called Las Colinas Pharmacy about 30 years ago. He started with just him and his wife. And they've grown the company to about almost 25 to 30 people. He's one of the first pharmacists that came up with a formulation for natural hormone replacement compounds. And he's been on TV programs. He's made a guest appearance for Dr. Phil, and he's been on various talk shows. He's done a lot of presentations to that effect. And to start off, the first thing I want you to know, the basis of emotional intelligence is self-awareness. This is where you identify your own emotions, the ability to identify your own personal emotions, where, sometimes you get a feedback from people and you get angry. Most of the times it's not anger that is really what is holding you up, but it's the fear with what's going to happen next. That is your main concern. Your ability to discern between anger and fear is what self-awareness is about. It's about looking at yourself, your internal self, and coming out with a clear vision for yourself. Jim exhibited this by showing a clear vision for what he stands for and for what his company stands for. And we have been beneficiaries for that. He's gone a step further by being very open to feedback. So he's been able to identify his emotions because he's open to these emotions. He's also been able to balance between something that is very difficult, that is being firm and kind at the same time. This is a balance that a lot of leaders find it difficult to do. Most of them are either very hard on their staff, whereby they break their staff down, or some are really soft, so much so that their staff trampled upon them. But he's been firm, just like you find leather. Leather is not too hard, it's not too soft, but it's effective. After you become self-aware of yourself, you need to manage yourself. That is the next component of emotional intelligence. That's self-management. This is your ability to remain flexible when you receive your emotions. Some people receive certain emotions and they don't know how to react. It's being flexible and being able to stay positive when you receive negative feedback, especially. We're all happy to receive positive feedback, but when it comes to negative feedback, that's where the problem is. Jim is a very good listener. When you're talking to him, he gives you his full attention. So you know he's really paying attention to you. You wouldn't even know whether he's upset with the kind of information you're giving to him because he doesn't show it. You never know. He never loses his cool. He's always happy. The first picture I showed you, you see him always smiling. I wish I was like that. He's very adaptive in his nature. The profession, the health profession itself is always changing, especially with pharmacy. In his 30 years, he started focusing on retail, and then he went on from retail to focusing more on compounding. And now, a lot of people are doing compounding, so he's focusing more on IV compounding, which is more difficult to do and more expensive to do. So that sets him apart from the audience. That's another way of managing yourself. Now, this component of emotional intelligence is important because it doesn't depend on you. It's your ability to determine the emotions of other people that you work with, understanding what they're going through. Jim is someone who has a talent to read emotions. I remember one day I came to work really stressed out and frustrated, and he looked at me and he said, "What's going on?" I said, "Well, I have my son who is sick and he's in another country and I don't know what to do." I was really touched that someone noticed and asked me about that. He knows his employees personally, so he knows exactly where to place you so that you function properly. Some people may want to work in a department where they are not effective, but he has that ability because he knows people on a personal level to place you at the right place where you function the best. He's very respectful, but he has a lot of authority. Some people are respectful, but because they joke around, nobody cares. But he doesn't demand the authority from you, but he commands authority of the staff. The last thing I want to highlight on is relationship management. This is moving a step further by you being able to identify your emotions and the emotions of other people and being able to manage them. He's done this really well because he's always pleasant in dealing with people and he's very professional when he deals with you. I believe it's something we all should learn. And because of that, even when he's under a lot of stress, we are currently moving from our current location to a new location, and I know he's under stress, but he never shows it. He's always professional. He's also making sure that the staff are improving. This weekend, we're all giving assignments to go and do. I hope you've done yours, Stephanie. We're all giving assignments where we're supposed to improve ourselves and learn how to do compounding better. And that is some way by which he's improving each and every one of us. He listens with empathy. You know that when he's listening to you, he knows, you can feel he knows what you're going through. And that is something that has made his patients love him, and we the staff, we love him. Right, Stephanie? Right. In conclusion, you might say, what's the difference between IQ and EQ? For me, it's simple. IQ is the tip of the iceberg, and EQ is the main thing. If you look at the difference in the size, you know that EQ is greater. Your IQ may see you through school, but EQ will see you through life. Okay? I'll conclude by saying something that the Dalai Lama said. Our prime purpose in this life is to help others. And if you can't help them, at least don't hurt them. It's important. Thank you all for your attention, and I want to join the lion thanking God for his meal and saying a big thank you to you for listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you.